much for coming here today. So today we are going to be talking about a strategy for automation testing. So automation testing, everyone wants to do automation testing, and it has been like one of the very key components of our software development cycle. And we are going to be using Cypress IO to see like how we can use the automation testing for the Cypress. So here is our agenda. So like we are going to be looking at what is Cypress and why we are going to be using Cypress. And then we are going to be looking at a quick demo of Cypress installation, and then like how do we do some of the test cases, and then how do we share the results like videos and dashboards. And then we also going to be looking at continuous integration, Cypress IO, like how this Cypress can be like used in the continuous integration, and then what is our migration strategy or getting started strategy. So those kind of the things that we are going to be looking at. This course is going to be like, this speech is going to be like a very high level talk, like why we pick a Cypress, because a lot of these corporates, they are very invested in Selenium, because that's been there for like more than a decade now, and Cypress is coming up, and a lot of people are like thinking about should they switch and what is it, those kind of things. So that's kind of like what we are going to be talking about today. So before we go, just about me, my name is Srini Santhana. I graduated in UNCG long back. I like to play a lot of tennis, and I work at Authorify. I have a slide for Authorify, also the company that I have been working with. It's founded in 2009. It's a rapidly growing SaaS company. So it's a digital marketing platform for professionals. So like mostly for realtors, and then they are planning on expanding to different industries like financials and all the other peoples. They are planning to see like how they can market those peoples. Tech stack, like what are the applications we have? We have React, Node.js, MongoDB, and then AWS. So it's all like the tech stack. We are always hiring, so if anyone is looking, like you have my email ID from this here, you can always send me an email and we can see. Okay. So let's look at what is Cypress IO. This is a tool for reliably testing anything that runs in web browser. So that is the definition of the Cypress from the Cypress IO. It's a tool for reliably testing anything that runs in the web browser. So as long as it runs in the web browser, Cypress IO will be able to test it. It is framework agnostic, so that means like you can use it for any framework, like it could be Angular, it could be React or anything. So it doesn't matter. So you can use Cypress, and then it is free and it's open source. So you do not need to buy any license. You do not need to buy anything from anybody. This is an NPM package. You can simply go and install it, Cypress install that I'm going to show you. And it's MIT license, so you don't have to worry about licensing and all those things. It's an open source. What kind of test we can write? This is, we can do the end-to-end test. You can do the end-to-end test, and then you can do integration test, and also you can do unit test. So all of those three different tests you can do. Like a lot of places where they are using Cypress is for mostly like testing the entire flow. Like for example, order entry flow. Like you have to go to multiple screens, and then you can use that. It kind of like simulates the user behavior. So you can go to those things and then test it. Cypress runs in browser. So that is one cool thing. I'm going to be going over showing you the architecture diagram and everything. But Cypress is a software that actually runs in the browser itself. So it's very lightweight and all those things. Then we have this slide about like why Cypress, like because we are talking about it's easy to say like, okay, Cypress is a nice thing, we have to use it, but why do we use it? Like I said in the beginning, Selenium. So Cypress does not use Selenium. So Selenium has been dominating this testing place, this automation testing for a long time, like more than a decade now. But now Cypress does not use Selenium. It's totally different. And Cypress focuses on doing end-to-end testing very well. So this is the end-to-end testing. So you can test from the component, the whole, like I mentioned, order entry systems or like certain things end-to-end. You will be able to test it. Cypress works on any front-end framework or website. So I already mentioned Angular, React, doesn't matter, any framework, it will be able to use it. And Cypress tests are only written in JavaScript. So you are writing your code in JavaScript, and then you can also write your test in JavaScript. You don't have to go and learn another new language. So everything is written in JavaScript. So it is simply like you're going to reuse your skill that you already have built for other things. Cypress is all in one. So once you have downloaded Cypress, that's all you need. Everything is inside that one. Cypress is for developers and QA engineers, test-driven development. So earlier, we had a special automation engineers who are very good in writing these Selenium scripts. Those kind of things, they were automation engineers who are like specialized in writing those QA engineers who are very specialized in writing the Selenium scripts. Here, it's kind of like the responsibility is kind of blending in to the developers, because they are already a JavaScript developers, they already know JavaScript, and they can write this Cypress in the JavaScript. So it's kind of like the responsibility is kind of like blending in, so they can write, the developers can write it, and of course the QA also can write it. We encourage the QA, we respect the QA, we need them in our process, so they are also will be writing this test, and they will be testing this also. So it's for both developers and QA, and the kind of the boundary is kind of disappearing here. Cypress runs much faster because it's so light, and it's in the browser itself. It runs very fast. Here is a very high level architecture diagram. In the Cypress, behind the scene, it's using the Node.js platform, and then that Node.js, it's also in the browser itself. If you look up like what was Selenium doing, Selenium was running outside the browser, and then they were making some sort of a WebSocket calls, and then they were simulating the user transactions. So if you click a mouse click, if you do anything, it was kind of like Selenium was staying outside the browser, and it was sending those information from there to this browser, and then simulating the user interactions. So that's what that Selenium was doing. So the maintenance, downloading that, and all those things were like too much headache. But now here Cypress, it's sitting inside the browser itself. So it's part of the browser, it's sitting in the browser, and then Cypress has the Node.js as the background. So it has a Node.js. And it has access to both backend and frontend. So what we mean by that is, it's because it is in the browser itself, it can kind of like, it knows the DOM. So it knows like the DOM structure of all the web pages, that the page that you're looking at. So you can manipulate that very easily, and also the network part of it. So like if you're going to be making an API call, so it knows how to intercept that API call and then like simulate the API call back to you. So it has both of those things that's like very easily built into that. Okay, with that, we are going to be like looking at this Cypress installation, and then we'll just show you like few test cases on that. Because I had to restart my laptop, maybe like 1 more second. Any questions you have? Okay, so I have a small demo app that I'm going to be like it's just a simple, very simple to-do app. So that is the app that we are going to be like just testing it. Attend conference, and then listen to talks. So it's a very simple app like I've got somewhere. So this is the app like we are going to be like trying to test it using our using the Cypress testing. So to install Cypress, it's a npm package. So all that you have to do is npm install Cypress. So if you're using Yarn, you can use the Yarn Cypress. So I already did that. So if you look at my package.json here, it has the Cypress as part of the dev dependency. So it has the Cypress, and then it has installed all those things associated with that. So I don't have to do that again, but I can go ahead and start the Cypress test cases. So for that, I can do yarn run Cypress open. It takes like just a couple of seconds for this to just to open up. Okay, so this is how you can like kind of like download the Cypress and then like write your own test, and we can like let's look at the first test. It's a like very basic test. So what they recommend is like so CY visit. So they recommend you to like run it on the local machine, local. So CY visit. So like to call this Cypress, you just have to do use CY. And then visit is like go to the any website in the using the URL. So they recommend you to use the local host, so that like you are actually testing the local host. Yeah. Okay. Can you know how to do that? Like, all right. All right. So they recommend us to go to this one, so that like you are testing what is that loaded in the locally, and then there are this comes with multiple things like so like so the CY command, you can look it up. So it has like various different commands like you want to like our main goal is like we want to simulate what is the user doing. So if the user is going to visit, so there is a command to visit that particular website. So we can go to the thing, and then here we are just simply testing it, displays the two items. So here like you are seeing cy.get to-do list li. So it is looking for the listing, like in the to-do list, it is looking for li. Like it's just scrolling through the DOM, and then like it's finding that. So there are like there is another tool that you can use to spy, and then like you can get those values, and then you can add it here. So we have this particular test has like a couple of things. One is that it is looking for displays two to-do items by default. So when we load this app, it is supposed to show two items in the list. So that's what it is testing. So we are the very first step we are doing. So before each, we are like just visiting that page, and then we are doing these two tests. One is like should be length 2, and then the first one pay this thing, and then like walk the dog. So those are the two things that we are just checking in that thing. So we are trying to simulate what the user will do. So we are like going through the list, and then like we are checking, okay, is that first one is the pay electric bill and then walk the dog, is that the one, these are the two things that showing up. And then can add items. So we can also simulate the next thing, which is like so we are going to be like new to do, and then type and enter. So it's finding that, and then like have the get the new one. So it's also checking are we able to add the next item. So we basically like it is simulating each one of the functions available in that website, which is like making sure like the first two items are there, and then are we able to key in the next one, and then check off the items, like and then like it's also checking the next one is like it is just checking if we click those buttons, those things will the checkbox will come off. Like once we click once we say it's done, is it actually done? So that is the things it's checking. And then the next one is like is it able to key in the one, and then it's saying checking is the can filter for the uncompleted items, like is the filter works. So now we checked, we saw that like is that initially is it showing all the three, and then are we able to add items. Now it is checking whether the filter works. And then the filter can filter for completed items. Can we filter for the completed items? And then next one is like can delete all completed items. Are we able to delete all the completed items? So it is looking for like a cy is our Cypress command, and it is like looking for the clear completed item, and then it is going to click on that click. Similarly, here it's also saying that it checks. So these are the very few basic user simulations in this very simple website. All that you are able to do, the user will be able to do is see if the two entries are there, able to add an entry, and then delete that. So that is the thing that, so we are going to simulate that. Let's see how it is showing up. So to run the test, all that you have to do is just click on that thing, and then it is going to do all the 4 things that we checked. So that's a cool thing. So you can see like you can scroll back here and see if see like it was checking these 2 things, these 2 entries exist, and then we can check that and then see if how did this one work, which is like can add 2 like are we able to add an item, and then is the filter works. So like in this one we are checking is the filter works. So you can see like they are checking for the filters, and then the filter works. And then here can filter complete task. So once you filter the complete task, does that actually work? Can we delete the items? So they are trying clicking the delete button, and then works. So it's basically what it is doing is that is it as if as a user is going to go into your to-do app and trying to do all the different things, and then we are able to do that using our like a Cypress test. So this case, now we have done this one. This is a very basic, simple one. So we can go into the little bit of advanced, like what are the other things that user can do. So we have some more advanced things here, which are like API specs and cookies. So it's pretty much everything that we can do in a website. Like when you are going to the website, what you will do is like you want to make sure like there are some cookies set. Like if you're going to, yes, let's say you have like a page 1, page 2, page 3, you have to test directly the page 3, and then the page 3 is expecting certain cookies. We have like some commands that will set the cookies, and then there are some commands that will delete the cookies. So you have those things here. You can see like a get cookies. So basically you can get the cookies, and then it will, if you want, like it can, it will get the cookies. So all those different options are there available here for you to use them. So the command is very simple, like get cookie token, so you can get that cookie, and then if you need to set something, you can use the set cookie, and then that will set the cookie. Similar way, the most commonly used one is that like we want to make a API calls, like you want to check weather report, and you want to call the weather API, and then you do not want to be calling that API 100 times, right? Because we are writing this unit test, we want to be mocking that API. So that's very easy here with us, with the Cypress. Like if you go to here, they have the API, like API specs. So pretty much everything that we will need in the API. So here, like everything we need from the API, we will be able to simulate that API, and then we can mock the API. Like if you hit that, like if you use a get command and then get the results back, you can take that JSON and then put it here in our code, and then you will be able to simulate that. If you hit that API, return this one. So we are not going to be actually hitting the API, but you will be simulating that API return using this one. Similar thing they have for the local storage, like in the React app and all the other app, we need some local storage. We are going to be using the local storage. We will be able to use this local storage to get the data, test the local storage. If your code needs looking for local storage, you will be able to set them, and then same way you will be able to retrieve them, delete them, all the other functions you need to do that, you can do that. So here they have the network request. So you will be able to simulate the network request and the navigation request. You will be able to go through the DOM and then go to different navigation. That also we will be able to do that. Another thing they have is a wait. Sometimes like yeah. What is that? Okay, okay. Yeah. We have the error handling too. Like if the because we are not actually hitting the API. If the API is down, this one is not going to know that, because we are not actually hitting the API. Yeah, that also we will be able to do that. Like we can make a request, and then if the API fails, then we can also send the API fail message, like the same, like you will get a 200 or 401, whatever response you are going to get back. That also you will be able to simulate that, so that like your UI is kind of like taking care of those concerns too. So if you're making an API call, you get 200, yeah, you do this, and then if you get like 401 or something like that, you do something different. So that you will be able to handle that here too. So basically, Cypress is like provides a very simpler way of handling and simulating the user experience. Like whatever the user is going to do, that's what the Cypress is going to do using the scripts. And and another thing, that wait. Sometimes we know that this is going to wait for few minutes, and we this has actually a built-in wait. So it's the architecturally Cypress, you should not have to actually put a wait. Like they say, like putting a wait is a bad programming here, because it is going to actually know that that call is taking some time, and it's going to actually wait. But in some cases you may have to wait, and if you have to use that, we have this tool, like you can just wait you know that like that making that API call is going to take few minutes, and if you want to wait, so you can simulate that just by doing that waiting period here. So, so basically it has like a lot of these bells and whistles that you need to simulate the user interactions, so that like our testing is as good as a user is going there and then playing with different combinations and then trying that web page and then making sure the web page is good enough. Yeah. So any questions in the Cypress? I'm going on to the continuous integration part of it. So in the first part, we saw like how to install Cypress and then how to write our test cases. I don't want to go through the command by command, but all these examples that like all the documentations are very simple. So to call Cypress, you just use cy dot, and then there are multiple commands available. Like if you want to visit a website, there is a visit, and then if you want to click, you have to find the appropriate DOM. How do you find the appropriate DOM? There is a spec, you can use that to spy, and then you can find the DOM. You can use CSS selectors and all the different selectors you can use, and then you can simulate the user behavior, and that's how you can validate whether your test is success or failure, all those things. Now we are going to the next step, which is a continuous integration. So the continuous integration is kind of like is the next cool thing, mainly because how the world is evolving. Like now, earlier we were like doing our development here. Now everything is in cloud. So if everything is in cloud, we need to deploy our thing in cloud, in container, and all those things. When in that mindset, this continuous integration becomes a very key part of this one. So the Cypress is nicely fit into that continuous integration, cloud, and everywhere. So where does it fit? Where does our Cypress fit? Like you write your code, you kind of build it, and then what we are saying in the continuous integration and continuous deployment is like as soon as you build it, you have a mechanism to deploy it into a production. So you don't need any manual person to do any things. We want like as soon as you're done with your code, we want to deploy it into production. So some like Amazon, somebody says like they are deploying multiple times a day. Like they are doing it. So like so if you want to actually deploy your code, like how confident are you like doing multiple production releases in a day? So to do that, if you want to be like very effective and want to do multiple production releases a day, your test cases should be like that accurate. So that's where kind of like it's kind of that supply chain thing, and our Cypress is like right there in the middle. Like that's kind of like here, like continuous testing. So I am going to just show an example of how we can integrate with Jenkins. So I have installed Jenkins, but because I restarted, I don't know if it's running. So let me. It's running. Okay, so we are going to be talking about Jenkins and how Jenkins and Cypress kind of like fit together. So Jenkins is used for continuous CI/CD pipeline. So that is the one software that is used for mostly by the DevOps team to deploy your code into production. So so how you can configure Jenkins to actually use your Cypress. That's kind of like what we are going to be looking at now. So I already have configured. So before that, like just to think about this. Like we build our software in my local machine. We ran it in the local machine, and then we ran our test also in the local machine. So now what we want to do is like we want to do a continuous deployment into production. So that is in the cloud. So that is so just have a mindset that there is a container or something there in production server, and then you have to do whatever thing that you did in the local machine in that server. And because you cannot type anything, you need your script to do that thing. So that is kind of the mindset, the very simple mindset. If you understand, then this will be very clear to you. So we saw that you have to do Cypress install, Cypress run, all that things locally using your keyboard. You just type in all those commands. Now in the cloud, you do not have access to that machine, and you are going to ask your script to do that same exact thing that you did here over there. That's kind of like what we are going to do now. So this is Cypress Jenkins pipeline. You can set it up, and then you can look at so like I'm just going to show you how to set it up. So you can use the Git. So you're going to be like in that configuration. You can use the Git, and then this is my I don't know if you can see it now. So this is my the POC thing that I'm showing it to you guys. So this is my Git package. So I put it here. I have my credentials. I added here. So I'm telling the script that go get my package from this location. And then I'm also telling the script, okay, use the master branch. Please use the master branch. So I also told that. And then these are the build scripts. So the first one I'm saying is install Cypress. So just to use npm and then install this Cypress. And then second one is just to run npm test. So those are the only two commands that I typed in the command line. I want my script to do it on the cloud by itself. So that like we are doing this multiple times deployment every day, and the script is going to do the same thing again over and over to any containers that we are going to deploy. So that is a very simple thing. So because we have keeping it very simple, this is only like 2-3 commands. In a complex world, it may be like multiple things, but the same concept is same thing. You are doing this, you are doing it here in local machine, the same script you are going to be running in the containers in the cloud. So that's all it is. So we can go ahead and try to run it, see what happens. So there is a, okay, we'll try to explain so we can see it here. New items, and then I'm going to open the Cypress POC. I was having few times, I got to like run few times yesterday. So I'll do it now. And then console output. Okay. So you can actually see what is it doing. Like I mentioned, you can do whatever you did in your local machine with typing this command. Now you are asking the script to run it. So it's running your Cypress, and then now it is starting the run test. So there is a slight difference between when you run in your local machine and when you are running it in the cloud. Over there is no actual browser. So it is actually running it in the headless browser mode. So when you run the it's actually running it in the, so you won't see anything, any browser opening up in the, whatever in the cloud. Here, so it is going to just show up everything. So it is showing all the results. I don't know why these things coming up, but it is running each one of the, all of this tests. It is going to go through all the tests because we have everything in that list. It's going to go through one by one and then try to run them all one by one. Yeah, so this one will keep going on. While it's doing that, I have another cool thing I can show you. which is videos. So now that you have run the test, and then let's say your manager asks you like, hey, did you really run the test? So what happens is like this is taking, you can actually take a video of all the tests that has been simulated by, so that one, though all those videos will be recorded here in this video folder. So I don't know why it did not record, let me check. So that like even here, right, so it is running all those things, it will be recording everything in a video, and then it can place it in a certain folder. And if you buy, Cypress is also selling some sort of a service, so if you buy some subscription service, they will let you host those videos in that dashboard. So you can buy like, let's say $100, $1,000, whatever, and all these videos, they will be able to host it for you. So you can go to Cypress website, log into your account, and then look at those videos. So if your manager asks, okay, did you actually test? So if you tell them like, okay, I broke my code, no, it worked after my changes, then you'll be able to prove it with the video. You have a video proof. So even in the locally, it's supposed to run, and let's see why it did not run. Yeah, so why it did not run is like I have to do this one. I have to do run. So that it has to be in that headless mode I was talking about. Once you run that in the headless mode, it will be actually running here. So now it's running. So it should be like generating some videos. Yeah, so it generated a lot of these videos. So you can, so next time nobody can blame you. What happened to this? Reveal in File Explorer. So the video is there, getting started. So don't you think it's cool? So imagine that you are having a big order entry system or employee onboarding system. It involves like 14, 15 steps going to different screens. And if you are able to show this to your manager, it will be like very, very impressive. And like this is how like you can like show these things to people and impress them that how the whole thing works and how this gets recorded in the video. And every time we deploy, that's how like if Amazon is deploying like 10 times a day, they can see the videos. Like anytime something is broke, they will be able to see, go and check. So our thing is also finished. So like everything is success, finish. Our testing also finish. Yeah. So we saw the, so I'm going to go back to my slides. So just to recap, we saw how do we, we saw like why we need to use Cypress and how do we install it and what are the different commands we have, and then how we can record the videos, and then how we can use it in our continuous integration. How easy it is to set it up and how easy it is to use it in our continuous integration. That's also we saw that. And then we are going to just quickly talk about what is our migration strategy or getting started strategy. Because Selenium has been ruling this testing world for so long, lot of these big companies will already have invested so much money and large code base in Selenium. So if you go and tell your VP that I want to go to Cypress, they may not agree with you because you have an automation engineer who has this Selenium knowledge, and they have these millions of lines of code that they already have done in Selenium scripting. So it may be little hard for you to sell this one, but it has a lot of cool features. That's what we saw today. And you should always start in small, like any big thing that you have to start with is very small. just to start small and show them the benefits and build into the culture. Like now, the responsibility has moved from a QA person to a developer. So you add your story points, just add another task for this automation testing, and then use it. If you are doing any brand new project, that is your time to show that, use your Cypress. Tell them that, okay, let's try Cypress, let's go check it out. And don't go for this big bang thing. Don't go and tell your VP that, hey, today we stop using Selenium, tomorrow let's go for Cypress. Nobody will believe you. So don't go for that. So just start from the small, and any new project, go for that. And that's all I have. So hope everybody enjoys your testing. Your testing plays a very important role. I also wanted to have another slide that says that how testing can be like what is the cost of a bug. So that's kind of like a big discussion. What is the cost of a bug? So if you find a bug at the concept level, like when you have it still in your mind, still in a discussion, it's very low. Once in the architecture, it goes. Once you are in the development, a little bit. Once it's in production, it's about 1,000 times more, because so you cannot do that. So the testing is the one that's kind of that magnitude that's there in that thing that's going to catch everything going to the 1,000 times. So that's why this automation testing is very important. Hope everyone likes it and start using it. So thank you.